Welcome back to my channel, and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup, and that includes new releases from my favorite indie brand, Unearthly Cosmetics. They released their new spring collection and I bought it all. I can't resist Unearthly. It is my all-time favorite indie brand. Everything they release is spectacular, and this collection, the minute I saw it, I knew that I had to have it. There are quite a few pieces in the collection. Now, things can be purchased separately. I decided to go ahead and buy the bundle because it was a little bit better deal, and you can use a code to get an additional 10% off. So I'll link everything down below for you. I'll link the code that I used, but in the bundle, you are going to receive the eyeshadow palette, the blush palette, 2 liquid highlight, and 1 lip gloss. And it was about $140 before any discount. So not a bad price considering there's an eyeshadow palette, blush palette, 2 liquid highlighters, and a lip gloss. So I'm going to put swatches up on the screen for you for everything. We're going to try everything on. I have done part of my base makeup, but I want to try out the liquid highlights with you before I actually set my face and get ready to go in with the blush palette. So if you're excited to see the Unearthly Cosmetics new spring collection, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, of course, I will link the Unearthly Spring Collection as well as my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today if you would like to shop this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me over on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So I'm going to zoom you in, and the first thing, like I said, we're going to do is test out the 2 liquid highlights. It is my boot camp girls night tonight. We're actually going to this place called the Box Yard in Tucson. It's kind of an outdoor eatery. Really, a lot of college kids go there. It's on the 4th Street area of Tucson, which is kind of a fun, eclectic area. There's lots of fun boutiques and shopping. So we're going to do some shopping, have some dinner. So I'm going to do kind of a fun look for tonight. And like I said, I want to test out the 2 liquid highlighters. We have the shade I'm Sprung and the shade Awaken. We're going to do one on one cheek, one on the other, because I definitely want to try both out, and then I'll just balance it out by blending in those 2 shades together. First is the shade I'm Sprung, and this is kind of a icy green leaning multi-chrome liquid highlighter. And then we have the shade Awaken, which is a little bit more of a pink purple multi-chrome liquid highlight. Now, Unearthly has put out liquid highlighters in the past. I used them up completely. They were in a couple of empty videos. I loved them. They layered beautifully on my skin. They sunk right in, layered beautifully on my other cream products. Right now I have on cream bronzer and cream blush. Once I set my face, you could still see the highlighter. I loved them, so I'm hoping that this is that same amazing Unearthly quality. So first we're going to test out the shade Awaken. It is a doe foot applicator, and I'm going to just tap that on my cheek. I do have to say that this is a really pretty pink with a shift to purple liquid highlight, and it swatched beautifully. These are exceptionally gorgeous. Ooh, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Look how pretty that is. I definitely see the shift of pink to purple. It does have a little bit of a gold undertone. That is so beautiful, and as always, sunk right into the skin. And now on this side, I'm going to tap on the kind of green leaning called I'm Sprung. That is definitely green as I pop that on my cheek. Even when I swatched it, I actually was like, oh, I love the green in this highlight. And then I'm going to tap that in. Oh, that is so beautiful. Wow. Wow, look at that. So there we have the pinky highlighter, I'm Sprung, and then our more green leaning highlight. These are so beautiful. Let me give you a close up. I love them both. I can definitely see myself using both of these. So what I'm going to do just to balance everything out is I'm going to tap on a little of our pinky purple highlight on the green, and then tap a little of the green on the other side, and then I'm going to blend those out. I am going to go ahead and set my face, and then we'll be back to test out the blush palette. So I went ahead and set my face with powder, did my powder bronzer, and look at that highlight just beaming through. And again, that is through a set face. These are exactly what I expected from Unearthly, very similar to the liquid highlighters that I had and completely used up before. And now we're going to play with the Spring Magic blush palette. There is a mirror in the palette. This is so incredibly beautiful. All of the blushes have a little bit of luminosity to them, which is perfect for spring and summer. That's also perfect if you're someone who doesn't love highlighter. Now, I love highlighter, but there's a lot of people who don't wear highlighter, and having a blush that has a luminescence and a glow to it can give the illusion that you have on blush and highlight. I love the colors that she chose for this blush palette. I love that there's some pretty basic shades, some mauves, some pinks. There's some beautiful oranges, perfect for spring and summer. I love the inclusion of the pink and the deep dark purple. There is a blush in this palette for every single skin tone, and these swatched absolutely beautifully. Very pigmented, again, that glow from within blush. I'm so excited to try these out. The hard part for me is deciding what color I want to use. Honestly, the shade that's kind of drawing me in is this shade down here called Crystal. Now, like I said, these swatched absolutely beautifully, but this shade just, it's giving me the feels. It's the shade that's really drawing me in. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that on my cheek. It's so pretty. It's really beautiful. It's kind of a pinky plum, and you can see the shift. You can see the luminosity. It is not glitter. It's just this kind of glow from within in this blush. Just a really pretty glowy blush, and we know that glowy blushes are all the rage for summer. Rare Beauty just came out with some glowy blushes. I purchased one during the Sephora sale. You guys will actually see that in an upcoming Testing New Makeup. It really is all the rage because, again, it gives you the feeling of a blush and a highlight, and it's perfect for the warmer months. So there's the shade right here, Crystal. I love it. These are all duochrome, multi-chrome, shifty, beautiful blush shades. Absolutely love them. And they're perfect with that liquid highlighter because it gives just the right amount of glow between the blush and the liquid highlight. I'm going to go ahead and set my face, do my brows, put on my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and let's jump into this gorgeous eyeshadow palette. So my eyes are primed and ready for shadow. So let's jump into the Spring Magic palette. This palette, it is so absolutely beautiful. It is so well curated. It is spring, it is summer, but there is so much depth in this palette from the mattes to the shimmers. We have light mattes, mid-tone mattes, deep mattes. There is light, mid-tone, and deep shimmers, multi-chrome, holochromes, duochromes, beautiful, sparkly, shifty shimmers, and the mattes are so buttery soft and so incredibly pigmented. I love that there are neutral shadows in here, so if you want to do a neutral look, or if you are interested in having a neutral look with a pop of color, this palette is perfect for that. There is an entire row of tealy, blue, beautiful shades. And then the middle row, again, is that little bit more neutral row. And then we have an entire row of more pinky, mauve shades. I love the depth in the mattes in this palette. There's so many options for deep, dark mattes. There's light mattes. There's even a beautiful, beautiful white matte. So pigmented and bold. This palette is just literal perfection. If you like pastels, if you like mid-tone shadows, if you like deep shadows, and of course the multi-chromes and the duochromes and holochromes, they are so, so beautiful. It's so hard for me to decide what type of look I want to do today. I definitely want to pull in some of the blues and the teals because they're so beautiful, but I kind of want to use a little bit of everything matte-wise in the palette. So I think what I'm going to do is start with this shade here called Cleanse. It's kind of a cool toned purple taupe color, and I think that's going to be a really nice shade to kind of set my crease and just add a little light wash of color to my crease. And as always, I go a little bit above my crease because I do have slightly hooded eyes. So I do like to bring that crease shade or that transition shade a little bit above my crease. This is so pretty. It's actually on the eyes, definitely a little bit more purple, a little bit more lavender leaning, but there is so much pigmentation in this shadow. It is so beautiful. It's blending out and applying so well. Then I'm going to pick up this shade here called Blossom. In the pan and in the swatch, it's a deeper, darker salmon pink color. And I'm actually going to tap that just in the crease and buff. So I'm going to keep the nice, that beautiful purple shade popping out above the shade Blossom. And I'm just going to buff, buff, buff that into the crease itself. I also want to point out that that was one tap in and I have my entire crease shade done. Like I said, the pigmentation of Unearthly Cosmetics is insane. But even though they're so pigmented and beautiful, they still blend out and layer really nice with each other. And I never get fallout, which I very much appreciate. So for my outer corner, I'm going to pick up the deep dark green shade called Herbalist. In the palette, it is this beautiful jewel toned green, and I'm going to pop that in the outer corner, and I'm going to really just stay in the outermost portion of my eye because I don't want to take away from that shade Blossom in the crease because I really, really love that shade. Again, one tap in, and I have everything I need. And then back into the shade Cleanse, the first shade we used as our base shade, as our transition shade, I'm going to use that just to kind of blend everything together. One thing I really appreciate about Unearthly Mattes is you can blend everything really well and you still have all of the pigmentation. It never blends away to nothing. And then as always, I'm going to use my NYX Glitter Glue, NYX Glitter Primer, tap that on my lid, and then we get to try out these gorgeous shimmers. And of course, we're going to do one shimmer with my finger, one with a brush to try out just those different application methods. So I'm debating between these two shimmers here for the outer portion of my lid to tie in with that pretty shade Herbalist that we have in the outer corner. I think I'm going to pick up the shade Dragonfly. It's a multi-chrome that shifts from green to gold to kind of a purple color. And I'm actually going to focus that on the outer 3/4 of my lid. This is so beautiful. Oh. Literally in love with this shade. Oh my goodness. The sparkle is sparkling. Look how pretty that is. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. I really love that. It is this minty green, beautiful, shifty shimmer. And then I'm going to pick up the multi-chrome called Mystic. Again, this shifts from pink to green to gold. So I think this is going to pair beautifully with the first shimmer shade. I have a pencil brush and I'm going to pop that on the inner portion. This is really nice. This has a black base to it. And because of the green shift, it looks so nice next to the shimmer Dragonfly. It's really, really nice. And it pairs beautifully with that shade in the crease. And I'm just keeping that on the inner portion of my lid, but I'm also bringing that over to meet that shade Dragonfly. Now it is applying beautifully with the brush. I do think that a finger application is better for these softer multi-chromes. I feel like that you just get a little bit more color payoff. But if you prefer a brush method, it does work as well. I just think that the finger application is just a little bit better for these shimmers. And then I'm going to pick up this shade here called Rainfall. It shifts from pink to purple with a little bit of blue. And I'm actually going to just tap that on the very outer portion closest to Herbalist, that dark green matte. And that's again just going to add a little bit more depth to the outer corner. And then for the lower lash line, I knew immediately it's this teal shade right here called Healer. So I'm going to pick that up on a pencil brush and buff that on the lower lash line. And I'm even going to pull that out towards my outer V, kind of like I'm making a bit of a wing with the shade Healer, that pretty teal shade. And over the top of Healer, I'm picking up the shade here called Sunshine. It's kind of a pinky gold, and I'm just going to buff that right on top of Healer on the lower lash line. And that just added a pretty little sparkle and a little bit more depth. And for my inner corner highlight, 1,000,000% Clouds. It shifts from white to pink, has a little bit of that teal base to it. And I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. That's more blue than I thought. Okay, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness. I definitely expected this to be way more white. I love it so much. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. That is my favorite shimmer shade in the entire palette. This one here, Clouds. It looks white in the pan, but look at my inner corner. It is this gorgeous teal blue. It pairs so nice with Healer on the lower lash line. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. I'm literally obsessed with that shade. One last final quick blend of everything. I am going to do liner, mascara, pop on some lashes, and I'll be back and we'll test out the lip gloss. All right, I did liner, mascara, lashes, and last but not least, we get to test out the lip gloss. And this is in the shade Pollen. Now, I love Unearthly Cosmetics lip gloss formula. I actually own pretty much every single lip product Unearthly has put out. And this is a beautiful kind of clear gloss with shift. So it does shift from green to blue to gold. So it's not just your plain boring white lip gloss. It definitely has a shift to it. I went ahead and wiped my lips off, made sure there was nothing on my lip. I'm so excited to try this. It's swatched so nice. Wow, it's even more pink than I expected. Smells a little bit like vanilla cake, which is delicious. Feels so good on the lips. I love the wash of color. It is definitely more pink than you would think, but it's because it's a multi-chrome lip gloss that it has that little bit of color and shift. That is so pretty. Again, this is the shade Pollen. Let me go ahead and get my hair done for the day, start getting ready for my little girls' night tonight, and I'll be back to share my thoughts on the Unearthly Cosmetics Spring Magic Collection. So here's the final look for today. I have not gotten dressed yet because I'm going to do a few things around my house, pop on my outfit right before I walk out the door later this afternoon. But I love my look. Oh my gosh, as I got ready for the day, I just kept staring at my eye look. I love these more springy, fun colors. I love that there's some depth. I love the blush, the highlight. You can tell I really like this collection, but let's deep dive into everything in the Spring Magic Collection. So first, the two liquid highlighters, beautiful. I do not have any other highlight on today. And you know that I love my highlight, but this gave me just the perfect glow. And I think it sunk into the skin beautifully. I love both of the shades. The pink shade is a little bit more subtle. The green leaning shade's a little bit more bold, but I will also tell you that by blending them together, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So this big win, really excited to have liquid highlighters from Unearthly back into my life. The lip color, love it. Oh my gosh, like I said, it is so much better in person than I thought that it was going to be. It's just this beautiful wash of pink on my lips. I love how shifty it is, how sparkly it is, smells amazing. It isn't sticky. I have not reapplied and it is on my lips. Love. Cannot wait for them to come out with more lip products. Even though I'm on a lip no-buy, I never pass up Unearthly. The blush palette is absolute perfection. I love the color story. Like I said, there's pinks, there's purples, there's oranges. The purples, they're purple, but you can go light-handed and get just this beautiful wash of color. I mean, I used the purple leaning shade, the little bit lighter purple leaning shade, but I think it turned out absolutely beautiful on the skin. And like I said, I love that there's that subtle glow to it so that you don't have to use a highlight, or you can just use the Unearthly liquid highlights that just blare through even a set face. But I can definitely see myself reaching for this a lot. And like I said, glowy blushes, they're all the rage. And then last but not least, really the star of the collection is the Spring Magic palette. This is such a beautiful palette. Like I mentioned, the color story is perfectly curated. I love that there's light, mid-tone, and deep mattes. There's pastels, there's deep dark shades, the shimmers. Chef's kiss amazing, absolutely beautiful. And like I said, I love, love, love my eye look. Everything is so shifty and pretty, but that deep, dark matte really just brought the look together. And I very much appreciate when there are deep mattes in a more pastel leaning palette and they're not black. They actually have some color. And like I said, I appreciate the mid-tone. I appreciate the more neutral row as well. Greens, teals, neutrals, and pinks, such a beautiful palette. Another palette I know I'll reach for a lot, and another huge, amazing success. from Unearthly Cosmetics. I also absolutely love the artwork on the front of the packaging. She always just nails the artwork and the packaging in general, but this, well worth the money. Absolutely worth the money. I know these are products I will reach for a lot. So I will make sure it is linked in the description box for you. I'll put the code that I used when I purchased my collection. Again, you can buy pieces individually, but the better deal is just to buy the bundle, especially if you want the entire collection. And then I'll also have all my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup I'm wearing today if you would like to shop this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me over on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. I love the spring collection from Unearthly.